Hey guys, Randy here with FL Outdoors. Today I want to talk about some of the most common things that I hear go wrong with fletching our vanes. Like the number one thing, everybody generally knows now that we have an adhesion guarantee. If you use our primer pen and our glue, we guarantee adhesion. And so when folks reach out and say, hey, I did that, I fletched an entire dozen and a whole bunch of keep coming off. Well, the number one reason, and I'm talking like 95 to 98% of the time, the jig just needed a slight adjustment. We can't stress it enough that if you prime it, you glue it, you stick it, you hold a little bit of pressure for 5 seconds, and if it doesn't stick, don't try another vane with the jig set exactly where it is. It's insanely important to make sure that the entire vane base is completely seated against the arrow, otherwise the glue doesn't cure. Cyronacrylite glue only cures on the absence of air. So if there's a gap in between there, it's not going to cure, it's not going to stick properly. I can promise you that if you prime it, you glue it, and you stick it, and if they stick within 5 seconds, you can fletch your third vane, take it right out of the jig, stick it in your bow, and shoot through plywood, and it will not come off. So when folks have that problem, adjust the jig before you even try to do more arrows, because it's basically identifying that the jig is not creating a complete seal between the arrow and the vane base. So another thing that I always recommend that's highly important is the primer pen. Years and years ago, we never had to use a primer pen, but our material is extremely dense. That's how we're able to get the stiffness that we got. So because that material is dense, the glue can't penetrate the plastic. So the primer pen, what that essentially does is it opens up the pores of the plastic to allow the glue to root in. So what happens is, the primer pen is really important. I always recommend that you have two things, a paper towel and just a regular piece of scrap paper. And what that does is that'll allow you to see exactly how much moisture is on the primer pen. So if you touch this on a piece of paper and the dot's less than, I'm going to say 5/16 in diameter roughly, then you're good to go. If it's bigger than that, like this, then that's telling you that's way too much. Don't put that on the vanes. That's going to eat it apart. So the paper towel is here, so that way if that is too much, you can roll a little bit off on the paper towel, you can test it again, and when you have that 1/4 inch to 5/16 dot, that's going to be perfect to allow you to prime the vane. The other thing you don't need to do is you don't need to scrub the primer pen on. All you do is you start on one end, work your way down to the other end, you stick that down, and you have to apply your glue within 15 to 20 seconds. After about 20 to 25 seconds, that primer is going to evaporate, the vane reheals itself, and it's like you didn't prime it at all. So you always prime it, you glue right away, and then you stick the vane against, and you apply this with just a little bit of pressure. I also like to stick my hand on the backside just to make sure that you're not bending the arrow away as well. Those are a couple things that are hands down going to eliminate a lot of the issues that I've always heard over the years since our brand launched. So subscribe to our channel for more videos and tips and tricks like this. We have a loyalty program on our website. It's floutdoors.com, which we are the official manufacturer of TAC Vanes, Swacker broadheads, and Khmer deer. See you at the next one.